what I was watching earlier today, by the way, look at the new hand test. I think we're looking nice and clean with it. Look at that shit. Ooh, I'm looking like motherfucking CM Punk or some shit. Now this video is gonna be essentially about, you know, tapping into your past lives, into your future lives, and this is something that I've been doing for a while now, probably for about 6 months now. I'm relatively new to this whole idea of tapping into your alternative realities where your consciousness is in different bodies all simultaneously in this now moment. And, you know, I just want to share with you guys some insight on what I know and what can help with you guys. You know, knowing like I am by no means an expert at this. I'm a beginner at this, but this is so exciting and fun for me to do. And I just, you know, I love to share it, of course, because I know it's completely transformed my life. It's completely transformed how I view this reality and how I see myself. And essentially, guys, your third eye, your pineal gland, everything that has ever existed and ever will exist, you have access to within this. Within this device, you have access to everything that your soul has ever experienced. Within any incarnation, from the beginning to the end of time, you have access to all that information. Because it's just coming from a different standpoint, a different perspective, you know what I'm saying? It's not something that the human physical mind can really understand. But there's a couple of different ways that you can go about actually finding out what are some of your past lives, and really realize that one of them being that a past life regression. Obviously, there's a past life regression. There's also future life progression. There's also just going into your Akashic records and seeing what comes up. There's also just getting into that void where you're now allowing, you know, downloads to come in. You know what I'm saying? So there's different ways. There's different ways to go about it. I'm doing some research right now. I have been doing some research here and there over these last couple of months about past lives. And I've found out about probably about 15 to 20 of mine, which are very amazing. Very, very amazing. I'm very excited about those. And I don't know if I'll share them. Maybe. I've shared like 2 before. I've shared like 2 of mine before. I think I'll share the rest later on. But really encourage you guys to do so, because the reason why, when I first really felt the call to actually start doing research on past lives, it was because I was in this time in my life. It was like last year. It was like October, November. I really got into this place of silence within myself, which was good. So I got to really know myself and find out some of these traumas that were coming from my past. And really a lot of times these come in the form of patterns. They come in the form of patterns. So oftentimes from my understanding, we go through different lessons and repeat different cycles, karmic cycles, until we actually heal that pattern or stop doing the same thing. Like, for example, there is a story of this lady that she was killed by the same husband like 20 lives in a row. And then on the 21st one, she finally stopped that cycle. Like, you know, it's just weird shit like that. But anyway, I had pretty much realized that my throat chakra was really closing up. I was afraid to speak my truth. And then I was kind of like gazing through. I was on Gaia, I was on YouTube, and you know, I don't know about you guys, but when you pick a video, you kind of just go whichever video feels right. You're like, you know, I think I'm gonna watch this one right now. Well, it's because our feelings know things that our mind doesn't know. So I was kind of being led there by my guides or my higher source or higher power or whatever you want to call it. I was being led to actually start doing research on past lives, and I had found that there was a story of Mira Kelly. She had some serious pain in her jaw. They were doing surgery. They're doing all this different. Or they were trying to do all this stuff to her, and like nothing would work. It would just, no matter what they did, it just didn't work. Her jaw was like broken, and she did a past life regression where she had pretty much had a, what was it? It was like she was a slave, and she had something. I think she had something around her neck, and it had caused her jaw to break or something like that. And she had done this past life regression, and she pretty much felt that emotion of that life and released that pain in that experience, and then let go of it. And actually, when she came out of that regression, her jaw was immediately healed. And when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, this is some real shit. So I'm like, if that healed her jaw, I wonder what this can do to my throat chakra. And then immediately I get this feeling that I was hung in a past life. I was like, I was definitely hung in a past life. And then I started to do some research. I started just thinking, who was hung? And then I started to realize Salem witch trials. And I was just like, and once I heard that, I started doing some research on Salem witch trials. And, you know, I was getting chills on my spine. And yes, I was hung at Salem witch trials. You know, I'm not going to tell you which one I was at this moment, but, and there's like 3 different lives that I found out that I've been hung before. So that's just something for you to know. And that's why I think that on some level that cycle may have come up where pretty much my whole life I was not speaking up. I was never speaking my truth. I was afraid, and it's because my throat was blocked energetically. And a lot of times what happens physically in one lifetime can show up again in this lifetime. For example, how someone who had gotten shot in the face in a past life, they will be born with some like weird deformity in their eye. And there's so many stories like this. And there's so many stories about where someone got stabbed or someone got shot or whatever in one life, and then they were born in this life with a birthmark in the same exact spot. So you're like, okay, well, how do they know? Is this just in your head? Is this just your imagination? Well, the whole idea is everything's your imagination, bro. First of all, everything you're experiencing in this physical reality is your imagination. That's number one. But number two, what's happening is your third eye, that gland, what the fuck is called? Whatever, the pineal gland, it's like I don't know I gotta do some research how to fucking explain this shit. I only experienced it. I don't know how to explain it yet. But like I said, I'm new to this still. I'm pretty new to the third eye. This is like my second year using my third eye. And I'm still a beginner to it for sure. Now, with that being said, you get images, man. Like we're psychic beings. We have different types of psychic abilities. We have our clairvoyance, which is our clairseeing, where we're getting actual images come into that gland. And what happens is when you're in meditation and you close these 2 eyes and you put your awareness up here into this eye, it's almost like a magnifying glass that pretty much allows you to see into this other realm. And when you go there and you really go there and you just keep your focus there, what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing images of things it's just things that you've experienced. And realize this, it's like I'm not my human, but I'm experiencing my human. But I've also experienced many other humans at the same time in different alternate realities, which I have access to all of them all right now. Okay? So when you go in there, when you really go in there, it's like, yes, go within yourself. But like, yes, it is a lot of it's in your heart. It is a lot of it's in your heart. That's kind of like that claircognizance, knowing, you just have a knowing. And then of course the clairsentience, that feeling, right, where you just feel things. All those things are very valid. They're different types of psychic abilities. And then clairsentience. Clairsentience is the one that I've been getting a lot. It's been one of my strongest psychic powers. Is I'm actually literally getting told what to do. And it's been interesting, like distinguishing, is this my guides or is this just an unconscious thought pattern? And I think if you have to question it, you're probably just overthinking it at the end of the day. And realize this, you're probably not going to, and this is how you know, by the way, this is how you know if it's your guides or if it's your unconscious thought patterns, because when your guides, which is your higher self, which is your future self, kind of all at the same time, depending on your perspective and how you're looking at it, but it's pretty much the same thing. That's coming from your heart, and the unconscious thought pattern is coming from your head. So like, if you're ever wondering, should I do this or should I not do this, really just sit there in your awareness and think to yourself, did that voice come from my heart or did it come from my head? And usually 9 out of 10 times you can say, should I do this, yes or no? And the yes is going to come from the heart and the no is going to come from the head, or it's going to be vice versa. Because a lot of times your ego or your unconscious thought pattern is going to tell you no because of fear. But it's just being able to distinguish that that's not actually me saying that, that's just my ego. And you're not your ego. Like I said, you can observe your ego. Okay? So, dude, that's my experience. That's been a lot of my experience recently, is just going into these meditations. And man, dude, someone hit me up with this, like, I think I got to go get to a chiropractor or something, because I haven't been able to get as deep into meditations this last few weeks as I wanted to. And it's been because of my posture. So I don't know if someone has any tips on like your posture, your back, and that's another thing. I wonder if I'm having some from a past life is my back. Like I had back pain as a kid, and like there's got to be some reason for that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. But like, I'm thinking about getting this like permanently tattooed. I think this looks sick. Like that looks so sick. It's just art, you know what I'm saying? It's just art. But like, that's why I really encourage you guys, for those of you that have like never done past life regression before, and you're like, what the hell is that? You sound crazy. What are you talking about, bro? That's crazy. Well, number one, you have to have an open mind or it's not going to work. And that's like anything, bro. Your mind only works when it's open, because when your mind is closed, you're limiting yourself from receiving new information. Therefore, you will never learn anything new. And that's your ego. Your ego thinks you know everything, but the reality is you don't know shit, okay? I don't know shit. When I started this video, I didn't even know what I was going to say. That's how much I'm telling you, like, this is being channeled. This is coming from my subconscious mind. This is coming from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? If you know everything you're going to say before you have a conversation with someone, you're not using your power. You're limiting yourself. You're using your ego, okay? Speak from your heart in the present moment. Moment by moment, the right word to say will come into your awareness and you will speak it. Okay, so long that you're in balance with your heart chakra and your throat chakra. If you're aligned in here, you will say the right thing at the right time. Now, when you have these higher chakras opened, then you're actually receiving downloads while speaking, and then now you're getting like super crazy. And that's how, if you've seen some of my videos where some crazy wild ass idea comes out, well, I had no idea I was going to say that when I started the video. You know what I'm saying? I just had a feeling that, oh shit, I just got something. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it happens. Like, I'll be sitting on the couch and then I just get this download. And what I describe as a download is like, you were just sitting there feeling normal, and then suddenly you just have this like intense feeling like an idea or a piece of information literally just got planted into your consciousness. And you're just like, what the fuck was that? And I'm like, oh my God. And the thing is, with those downloads, you have to speak it. You have to write it. You could write it down, but you know, with a download, it's so much. Like, you would take way too long to write it down. Like, I've been in the middle of a video, and I was 30 minutes in, about to end the video, and then I get this download. I was like, oh shit, I got a lot more to say. And then the video was like 20 minutes more. How is that possible? Because it's a piece of information. But realize this, a piece of information is an idea, and each idea is a thought, and the thought, when expanded upon, therefore meaning focused upon, it always expands and multiplies. And each thought, the thought simplified is just one thought, but the thought expanded upon can turn into an entire physical manifestation. So you see what I'm saying? So if you think about something for 17 seconds, that creates a like thought pattern, and that thought pattern then combusts and multiplies into multiple thought patterns. Whole time, that first thought, when multiplied in times infinity, could turn into something magical. You know what I'm saying? Just for example, anyone that's ever created a company or a business, the first time that ever existed in this reality was in one thought. They had one idea. They said, oh, wait a second, maybe I should do this. That sounds like a good idea. But if they don't do anything with that, that thought dies right there. But if you start talking about it, you start writing down, you start, feeding it energy, you're cultivating, right? The thought is a seed and is being planted into your mind by your higher self or by your guys. That thought was being planted in there. You don't just, like, your thoughts don't come from nothing, bro. Like, you think you just, oh, well, I guess I just think what I think. No, like, your environment produces your thoughts, number one. Your environment produces your thoughts. Your vibration produces your thoughts. Because realize, it does come from, it also comes from your past. There's like 4 different things I just got right there. Where your thoughts are coming from. Number one, they're unconscious thoughts coming from your past / program thoughts that you've chosen to keep into your future, which would be conscious programs, I guess you could say. It's like a subconscious program, but you consciously created the subconscious program. But either way, that's still from your past. So there's that kind of layer of thoughts though from the past. There's a layer of thought from your present environment. So like, for example, I have a whiteboard here. I have some things over there. So those things are producing thoughts. What I'm listening to right now, this moment, is producing a thought. What I'm reading is producing thoughts. Okay. So those are 2 things: the thoughts come from your past and present. And here's the other thing: your thoughts come from your future too as well. I'm gonna explain how this works. So it's crazy. I didn't know I was gonna say this, but because your higher self is connected to the past, present, future. So it's like your higher self, which is your connection to God, which you could even say is God in a sense from a different perspective. And you could also say it's your spirit, guys. Okay, you could also say it's your intuition. These are just words. Remember, guys, words are just labels for vibrations. Okay. And we all talking about the same thing, where you just have a knowing, but you don't know why you know it. Well, that's because it's coming from your future self, okay? And the reason why it's coming to you now is to give you that kind of idea, that hint, that foreshadowing. And this comes in different messages. You get different messages from the universe if you're actually paying attention. You're getting messages all the time, but it's just like, are you actually paying attention? Because if you're actually paying attention moment by moment, if you're walking in guidance, like if you're being guided and you're being present, you're going to pick up on these messages real quickly. And if your third eye is open and you've already went into your meditation that morning, you're going to know the messages. And most of the time, you know the shit you're going to see during the day before it even happens. Like, that's some real shit, psychic powers, bro. Like, you're in meditation and you're getting downloads of who you need to be talking to, where you need to go. Like I'm getting hints of where I'm going to be later on this year, of who I'm going to be with. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting told this information without, how would I know that? How would the present version of me know that shit? I wouldn't, but my future self is telling me, hey, I'm trying to guide you to this better reality, but you got to listen, you got to trust. You see what I'm saying? Because your future self, your higher self knows everything. It knows every time. Not only does it know the timeline you're currently on, but it knows other timelines, and whichever timeline you prefer, how you can shift into that timeline in this moment. Okay, it's some real deep shit, bro, but your future self obviously knows because it's already been there. You know what I'm saying? Because remember this, bro, your consciousness is not only in this body, it's in the body of you from the past, from the future, in a different life, in all different lives at the same time. That's your higher self. That's the all-knowing. Okay? So how would you know that? Well, how do you know that? Well, it's because, like I said, when I started this video, I didn't know what I was going to say. I just said, you know what? I'm going to make a video. And what happens is when you start speaking, and this is for anyone that wants to make videos and has never made a video before. Well, number one, when I first started making videos, I sucked at making videos. I'm still not great at it. I'm getting better. I could say I'm getting better at it for sure, but I was terrible when I started. I was so afraid to speak. I was so afraid of whatever people would think. But I had to realize and learn to stop worrying about what other people are thinking about me and start focusing on who I'm talking to and how I'm serving them. You know, and that's been something that I've been really going through and working through. You know, growing up as a kid, I was always worried about being approved by other people, seeking validation, and this is something that I've been doing a lot of work on within myself, and it's been a challenge because this one is deeply ingrained, and just like always looking for validation, always looking for approval, like thinking that I had to perform in a certain way, or then I wasn't good enough, or I wasn't worthy of love, or I wasn't worthy of approval. Like if I didn't get an A on a test, or if I didn't score 20 points in the game, or if I didn't get a hit in the baseball game, if we didn't win the game, then I wasn't good enough, you know? And I think that caused this fear of failure within me, that caused this perfectionist trait in me, you know? And I've been a perfectionist for as long as I can remember. And the reason why is because I was afraid of failure. So I felt like I had to be perfect because I had to live up to this expectation of what my parents thought I should be, of what my friends thought I should be, or what I even myself thought I should be, right? I had all these expectations on me. Hey, you were, growing up in school, my mom was a teacher, and, people looked at me and said, oh, you were Mrs. Eccles' son. You were the teacher's son, so you should be living up to this expectation. Oh, well, your brother was this person, and you should be living up to that expectation. And it's like there's so many expectations on me. So I always had this belief that if I didn't live up to the expectation, that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't worthy. So like if I didn't succeed, then that means I was failing, and if I was failing, that was bad. Well, I encourage you guys to get into an environment today where failing is not a bad thing. Success and failure, number one, those are just both experiences. There's nothing as good or bad, bro. Nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. They're just neutral experiences that you are creating. It's just something else that you created that you can help then therefore more clarify what you want and what you don't want. That's the contrast in life, right? Okay. So that's one thing. That was my message for today. That's what I really wanted to talk about. Apparently, I didn't know I was going to say that, but I think this message really fits for a lot of people right now. Hope you guys enjoyed this message. You can follow me for more on Instagram at infiniteabundance777. You can join my free Telegram at t.me/infiniteabundance. If you would like to book a call with me, a free one-on-one consultation call to see what you are working on, how I can help you with that. And, I'll drop all my links below. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.